Hey there, and welcome back to Cosmic Crypto. In this video, we're going to be talking about Internet Computer, ICP. Let's go. Okay, welcome back to the channel. If you could do me a favor, go down below and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, if you can tap the like button, I would really appreciate it. Internet Computer. Okay, I'm trying to remember the last time I did a video on ICP. It's been a minute, but I think it was probably around the breakout here. And on the weekly time frame starting out, just going to do a quick recap, and then we'll go into the lower time frames to kind of see what might be coming for ICP here soon. We are currently up 2.5% on the day, but there's still 16, basically 17 hours to go. Weekly time frame, we've been following this massive rejection trend over here, where we've been just falling. And hold on, let me get rid of this. Okay, we've been just falling, hitting this rejection, rejection, all the way down, and then we finally decided to break out right around here. And during this time is when I'd been talking about ICP a lot. Because we also were forming this wedge that it was starting to get squeezed into, and it just looked like it was about ready to go. Now, the target of this wedge down here would actually be to the top of the wedge, which would bring us around the $9.70 level, and we're currently at $5.94. So that's still just to the target. Roughly a 63% move. Now, that's nothing massive compared to, a lot of the other coins that have been popping off lately. But, I mean, still 63% is pretty good. And considering I do believe that ICP is going to be getting higher highs, my personal opinion is we're at least getting up to the $80 range during this next bull cycle, if not even higher. I'm going to have to do a deeper dive into that when I look at the market cap and some other things. But currently right now, my first price target is roughly around that $9.80, 70 cent level. We did get the crossover on the Cypher B down here above the zero line. So that is a good sign on the weekly time frame. And we are attempting to get our RSI up here to the 50 level. And once we break up above that 50 level, then, that's a pretty good sign. That's what I'm waiting for. One other thing I noticed on the weekly time frame was just this massive bullish divergence we had. So we had falling prices while the entire fall, basically, while the RSI had continued to hold this support to the upside. And it was just a matter of time before ICP, that divergence came into play. And it just so happened during this wedge that we finally, once we broke out of that wedge, you can see that the RSI had a nice pop to the upside. Now, we still haven't reached the 50 level here, but we are on our way, I believe. And I've got a Fibonacci here. I've brightened the colors up just so hopefully you can see this better on your screen. Hopefully it's not too distracting, too. To me, it's a little bit more distracting. Let me know down in the comments if you like my old fibs where they're less bright, or if this helps you see better. Because if it helps you, then I'll keep it on there. But otherwise, I'm going to lower the brightness again because it's kind of distracting, in my opinion, for me. But if it's good for you, then I'll keep it there. So we are right now crossing above the... Boy, is that the 55? No, that's the 21. That's what I thought. Okay. So the 21 EMA, we have crossed above that on the weekly time frame and have come down and hopefully are finding it as support. So that's a pretty good sign right there to get above the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame. As you can see, the 21 had been basically right above where we keep getting rejected at, and we had never actually crossed the 21 in the existence of ICP unless you count all the way back in here where it was probably above the 21, but that isn't actually noted on the charts here. So we got that cross right there. That's pretty good. And let's go down to the daily to get a little closer look here. So we did have this really nice run up for ICP. As you can see, I mean, it was a perfect breakout. We had been falling on the daily time frame. We finally broke out. We were testing that as support. And then finally it just said, okay, let's go. And so on the RSI, we had the break above. And Almost looks like you can take a fib from the bottom of this RSI and bring it to the top. And we held support at the 0.5 fib and then kept continuing on to the upside. And we finally, is this the first time? No, I think we made it right back in here towards the beginning of this wedge. We finally broke into the green zone above the 70 level on the RSI. And we did it dramatically here, which I like to see. And I like to see us to get up there. That tells me that we're bullish, and then we get the retracement to come down, and we can continue. We want to keep the RSI above the, instead of, as you can see down here, when we were just falling this whole time, we'd get up to roughly the 60 level on the RSI, get rejected, come back down, 60 level, get rejected, come back down, and continue on that manner. We don't like that. What we want to do is we want to get above that, get into the 70s through the 90s on the RSI, come back down and hold at least the 40 level would be the bare minimum to hold, but preferably to stay above the 50 level on the RSI. As you can see, we needed some cooling off, and the one thing I do really like about this cool off is we've just been going sideways. And if we get down to a lower time frame, which you can kind of see here, I've got some lines drawn out. It kind of looks like we're in a triangle pattern and possibly about to break out. I need to take a closer look at that. But if we do get out of this triangle pattern and break out, my first price target would be around the 200 EMA on the daily time frame, which currently is sitting at the $6.78 level. So we need to pay attention to that. And let me just put a line there just to double check this price target. Yeah, that brings us right up to that 200 EMA for the price target. So if this does break to the upside, get ready for a move, and that move from where we are at current prices is a almost 14.5% move. If we break out from the breakout point, that would be a 12 to 13% move. So if you're pretty aggressive, you might get into this right now and get that 14 to 15% move. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can wait for us to actually break above the resistance line. But we did need a cool off. You can see on the market cipher on the daily, we were way up here, and we had a couple red dots forming. Also on the RSI, we were way overbought as well, so it is really nice to get this cool off. And like I said, the cool off is happening on a sideways action, which is what we like to see. And we are holding on this fib level that I've got from the top to the bottom here, the 0.5 Fibonacci. So let's go back to the weekly really quick, just so I can point out these fibs and how they come into play. So we had the breakout. We blasted up above. We barely reached above the 382 fib here. Then you can see that we came back down to retest it as support, had a nice wick above the 382, and then continued with a body candle up. We hit the 0.5 perfectly with this wick right over here, which is sitting at that $5.75 area. And on the next weekly candle, we broke above with a nice green candle. But you can see we couldn't reach the 618 fib just yet. And so we're trying to find this as support. And is that 618 sitting right on that daily 200? Just about. So if you go back to the daily, so the 618's right here sitting at $6.53 basically, and right above it is the 200 EMA for the daily time frame. So there is that lining up almost where we could possibly just have one more move to the upside before we need another pullback or sideways action. We get a body the body closes below the 618, which I do believe is going to be a little bit of resistance. I guess we'll have to just wait and see, but I think it will be. And then maybe a wick comes up and touches this 200 EMA, or if we're just lucky, we can just kind of dance between those and then go sideways for a little bit and push above it. Let's go down to the 12-hour time frame where we can start to see this triangle pattern a little bit more clearly. I guess we could probably move the line maybe right there. Something like this. I mean, it's a pretty nice looking triangle pattern forming. The one thing that I do have a bit of concern on, so we do have this green dot down here. We are holding the 50 line on the RSI on the 12-hour, and the volume is decreasing. So there is a very good chance of a breakout coming in the short term. Whether that's to the downside or the upside, we'll see. But we've been holding this 0.5 Fibonacci very nicely here, as you can see. And the breakout time period would be 4 o'clock this morning, maybe. So it looks like maybe sometime 4 o'clock my time. So right now it's 11:12 p.m. where I'm at. So just in about 5 to maybe 8 hours to get our breakout from this triangle whether that's to the up or the downside. Now, what you want to probably do is take a Fibonacci, and this is what was worrying me earlier. Let me get onto the 4-hour time frame so we can take a peek here. We've already broken above what was worrying me, but we'll see where we're at now. So if you take a fib, and actually I want to turn on my higher low, higher high, higher low. And so you can see here's our last high. I'm going to put the fib from that last high there down to the bottom. And as you can see, it was kind of worrying me. And actually, let me move it down to this one. Let's see if that, no. Which one lines up the best in my opinion? We'll just use this one. So you can see that we came down, we were getting rejected off the 382 retracement. And even the bodies were closing right around that 382. And we were getting this high wick, and then another push down. And it looked like, because I was looking at this right around this time period last before just now, when I'm looking at it now, but it looks like it's coiling up for sure. You can even see on the Cypher B that the waves are getting a lot smaller, and the RSI is just kind of flatlining on the 50 line here. So this thing is coiling up for the move, but there's so much space right up in here. And right now we're getting rejected. Finding resistance, I should say, not rejected, off of the 0.5 Fibonacci. So obviously the big break is that 618 fib right here, sitting at the $6 level, which is only 6 cents away right now. But once we break above that 618, I do believe that that's our play right there to the upside. But as we currently sit, there's a lot of space. Plus there's high wicks in this previous move to the upside, while you can see to the downside, they were lower wicks, and they were body candles that were coming down to the support line here on the downside. So there seemed to be a lot more pressure to the downside. Yeah, as you can see, we're even continuing to get pushed down. So just pay attention to maybe this fib line here. If we can get a body candle close on the 4-hour time frame above the 0.5, to me, which is sitting at $5.95. If we can get a 4-hour body close above that, that leans me a little bit more bullish on this breakout to the upside. I am sitting kind of 50-50 right now to break out to the upside for ICP to get to that next move. Otherwise, if we do break down, let's just kind of see where it almost looks like it's going to line up perfectly with the 4-hour 200 EMA. So let's just go ahead and pull a price line here, and yeah, so it actually brings us down perfectly, and actually the breakdown would be probably right around here, so it does work. So the perfect breakdown from this triangle would bring us down to the 400 200 EMA and also the 382 Fibonacci, so which is sitting around just over $5, around the $5.08 to $5.10 level. So if this does end up breaking down, you can look, I mean, I don't usually short when we're above the 200 EMA, but that would be a great place, in my opinion, to be looking for some more buys, is right around just above that $5 area if we do break to the downside. So, I mean, these line up pretty nicely. So if we break to the downside, we're looking there. If we break to the upside, then we go to that daily. That's going to line us perfectly right up with that 200 daily EMA. So pay attention to that. Yeah, so I'm still anybody's guess. It's just going sideways here. To me, this is looking a little bit weaker for the bulls. So I'm going to go maybe 55% to the downside, 45% to the upside possibilities here on this triangle breakout. But that will completely, my mind will be changed a little bit if we can get that body close above the 0.5 fib sitting at that $5.95. And it'll be more, you know, I'll have a better opinion of it if we get up to that 618, and then especially if we break the 618. That's pretty much all I got for ICP. Long term, looking very bullish. I probably would do a video on how much ICP you need to become a millionaire. Now, obviously, these are all my millionaire prediction videos are all based off of when you bought. I mean, it's all just relative to when you bought ICP, because if you bought, you know, at $80, you're going to have a harder time to become a millionaire than if you bought at $3 on ICP. So I'll probably do a video. If you like that, if you want me to do a video on how much ICP you need to be a millionaire, please put that down in the comment below and I'll put something together. And I'll try and keep these coming as much as I can when I see things happening in the charts. But yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.